midnight. For decades, Ron Howard seemed untouched by the darkness that often shadows a life spent in the spotlight. But behind 8 seconds, the steady voice, the gentle smile, and the long list of achievements, he carried battles he never allowed the 15 seconds world to see. Only recently did he reveal the truth. Painful memories. 21 seconds. Crushing regrets. And a family crisis that has shaken him more deeply than any Hollywood failure today. His carefully 29 seconds. Guarded silence has finally broken. And what Ron has admitted is far heavier than anyone expected. The weight he 38 seconds. Never spoke about Ronald William Howard's entire life has unfolded under the glare of cameras beginning on March 44 seconds. First, 1954 in Duncan, Oklahoma. Long before he could understand what fame even meant, his parents, actor Rance. 53 seconds. Howard and actress Jean Spiegel brought him into a world that blended creativity with discipline, hope with financial. 101. 1 minute, 1 second. Uncertainty and childhood with the unforgiving expectations of show business. 107. 1 minute, 7 seconds. By the time most toddlers were learning to speak, Ron was performing on film sets. At just 18 months old, he appeared. 115. 1 minute, 15 seconds. In Frontier Woman, unknowingly stepping into a lifelong commitment that would never let him walk away fully. Not even. 123. 1 minute, 23 seconds. Decades later, the Howards moved to California in the late 1950s, chasing the rising promise of television. And 131. 1 minute, 31 seconds. Ron's life quickly stopped resembling anything ordinary script pages sat beside dinner plates. His father balanced military duties with auditions. 141. 1 minute, 41 seconds. And little Ron, still losing his baby teeth, was already memorizing lines instead of learning how to ride a bike. 148. 1 minute, 48 seconds. With neighborhood kids. The reality of his early years became clear later in life when he described that period as a 155. 1 minute, 55 seconds. Golden cage, safe but isolating, locked behind responsibilities he didn't choose. Everything changed on October 204. 2 minutes, 4 seconds. 3rd, 1960, when the Andy Griffith Show premiered. Ron, just 6 years old, became 211. 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Opie Taylor, the nation's idealized symbol of innocence America, felt like it owned him. But behind the scenes, he was 219. 2 minutes, 19 seconds. A quiet boy, completing schoolwork in a tiny room near stage 40 at Delu Studios. 225. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Hearing other kids play outside while he studied between takes. His father fought hard to protect him. Challenging scripts, guiding him through scenes. 2:35. 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Insisting he never act cute, only honest. That advice shaped Ron's entire artistic identity, but it could not. 2:43. 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Protect him from the emotional cost of being everyone's child, but never truly his own. Those pressures built up quietly year after year. And now, 2:54. 2 minutes, 54 seconds. Decades later, Ron admits there were wounds from those years that never fully healed. Wounds that would follow him. 3:02. 3 minutes, 2 seconds. Into adulthood and shake the very foundation of his family life, the price of being America's son. As Ron Howard, 3:10. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Grew into his teenage years, the world saw only the success. What they didn't see was how deeply the pressure carved. 3:17. 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Into him. After the Andy Griffith Show ended in April 1968, Ron was 14, but emotionally far older. 3:28. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. He had spent 8 seasons living inside a fictional town, cared for by adults who loved him, yet unable to experience. 3:35. 3 minutes, 35 seconds. The messy freedom most teenagers took for granted. His schooling had been split between real classrooms in Burbank and rush tutoring sessions at Desilu. 3:46. 3 minutes, 46 seconds. He learned math while stagehands rolled dollies past his desk. He ate lunch not with peers his age, but with Andy Griffith, Don Knotts, and the props crew. 3:57. 3 minutes, 57 seconds. And the small moments revealed the cost. 4 o'clock. 4 minutes. During the filming of The Music Man in 1962, he was just 8 years old. Terrified, he couldn't master a dance routine. He, for 09, 4 minutes, 9 seconds, whispered to Shirley Jones in panic, "I can't do it, Shirley." She comforted him, and the production hid his mistakes. For 16, 4 minutes, 16 seconds. By shooting from the knees up, millions praised his shy performance, never knowing the fear behind it. Those hidden. For 23, 4 minutes, 23 seconds. Anxieties became part of him, shaping a young man who performed confidence even when it didn't exist. Then came Happy Happy Days in 1974. For 33, 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Ron was 19 when he walked into Gary Marshall's office, unknowingly entering the role that would define his youth. 4:40, 4 minutes, 40 seconds. A second time. As Richie Cunningham, he became America's clean-cut, dependable boy next door. But Wild the World. 4:48, 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Adored him. Ron felt the weight of being locked inside another identity. By 1977, 4:55, 4 minutes, 55 seconds. At age 23, he felt trapped playing a teenager, while the real world outside was changing at a pace he couldn't ignore. Vietnam dominated headlines. 5:05, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Youth culture was shifting. Yet, Richie seemed untouched by reality. Ron even wrote a memo to ABC asking for one story. 5:14, 5 minutes, 14 seconds. Line that acknowledged the war. They rejected it. The frustration built quietly. He felt invisible inside the 5:21, 5 minutes, 21 seconds. Character, unable to grow, desperate to break out of the perpetual adolescence the show demanded. That growing suffocation pushed him toward a 5:30, 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Life-changing realization. If he wanted to reclaim his identity, he had to step behind the camera. Directing wasn't a dream. It was escape. 5:41, 5 minutes, 41 seconds. The rise of a director and the breaking point. Ron Howard's escape finally came in 1977 when Roger Corman offered him a 5:51, 5 minutes, 51 seconds. Deal that felt like a lifeline. Star in Eat My Dust, and he could direct his own film. Ron agreed, not for fame, but for 5:59, 5 minutes, 59 seconds. Freedom. That project became Grand Theft Auto, a chaotic car crash comedy co-written with his father, Rance. They, 6:07, 6 minutes, 7 seconds. Shot it with a $62,000 budget, destroyed 70 cars on camera, and made $15 million. 6:15, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. For the first time, Ron felt control. 6:18, 6 minutes, 18 seconds. True creative control, something acting had always denied him. But control came with a cost. He took every project seriously, obsessed with every detail. 6:29, 6 minutes, 29 seconds. Night Shift followed in 1982, then Splash in 1984, then Cocoon, Willow, and 6:36, 6 minutes, 36 seconds. Parenthood. Each one expanded his reputation, but also his burden. The success made studios trust him. And that. 6:45, 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Trust became pressure he could never turn off. By the early 1990s, Ron was no longer the boy from Mayberry. He was a 6:54, 6 minutes, 54 seconds. Rising Hollywood force expected to deliver perfection on command. 6:59, 6 minutes, 59 seconds. In 1995, he stepped into one of the most demanding films of his life, Apollo 13. 7:06, 7 minutes, 6 seconds. Determined to honor the astronauts, he refused shortcuts. The production filmed 612 zero-gravity sequences aboard NASA's 714. 7 minutes, 14 seconds. Vomit Comet, each lasting only 23 seconds. They recreated mission control with real NASA panels purchased for a 722. 7 minutes, 22 seconds. $1 each. Every blinking light, every switch position, every flight call had to be exact. Ron pushed himself beyond. 7:31. 7 minutes, 31 seconds. Human limits. He worked 18-hour days for 90 straight days, sleeping only a few hours between shoots, refusing to cut. 7:39. 7 minutes, 39 seconds. Corners or simplify the science. And then one morning, his body finally gave out. He collapsed on set. Severe. 7:48. 7 minutes, 48 seconds. Dehydration, hypertension, complete burnout. 7:52. 7 minutes, 52 seconds. Production was halted for 36 hours. When he returned, shaken but determined, the entire crew wore shirts that simply read, 8:01, 8 minutes, 1 second. Mission Control. It was their way of saying they would follow him anywhere. 8:07, 8 minutes, 7 seconds. But behind his quiet smile, Ron knew the truth. He had crossed a line. He had become the kind of perfectionist who could destroy himself without noticing. 8:17, 8 minutes, 17 seconds. And that realization would haunt him for years, not just for what it did to him. 8:21, 8 minutes, 21 seconds. But for what it took from the people he loved most. The regret he cannot outrun. 8:28, 8 minutes, 28 seconds. For all of Ron Howard's achievements. 8:30, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Nothing weighs heavier on him than what happened in 1991. 8:35, 8 minutes, 35 seconds. That year should have been one of the happiest times of his life. His daughter Jocelyn had just been born. His career was accelerating, and he had reached a 8:44, 8 minutes, 44 seconds. Level of creative freedom most directors could only dream of. But when Universal scheduled the 6-month shoot for FAR, 8:51, 8 minutes, 51 seconds, and away in Ireland, Ron made a decision he would spend the next 3 decades regretting he left. For half a year, 8:59, 8 minutes, 59 seconds. Cheryl raised their newborn twins and young daughter Bryce alone. 9:05, 9 minutes, 5 seconds. Ron was on the other side of the world, working through long days, rewrites. 9:09, 9 minutes, 9 seconds. Location challenges and studio pressure. And when he finally returned home, the damage stunned him. Jocelyn. 9:17, 9 minutes, 17 seconds. Didn't recognize him. Bryce barely reacted. Cheryl felt exhausted in ways she couldn't fully express. In 2025, Ron. 9:26, 9 minutes, 26 seconds. Admitted that moment broke something inside him. A sudden realization that success meant nothing if it stole the very people he was trying to build. 9:34, 9 minutes, 34 seconds. Life 4. He promised never to disappear like that again. But life rarely lets us keep promises perfectly. 9:43, 9 minutes, 43 seconds. In 2005, during the reshoots for Cinderella Man, he found himself slipping back into the same cycle. 9:50, 9 minutes, 50 seconds. Sleepless nights, endless decisions. 9:53, 9 minutes, 53 seconds. Missed milestones, missed memories. He returned home once again to children who had grown while he was gone, to a wife. 10:01, 10 minutes, 1 second. Who kept the house standing on quiet strength alone. And Ron later confessed that this second lapse forced him to confront what he had been running from. 10:10, 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Since childhood, the belief that he always had to say yes, always had to exceed expectations, always had to prove. 10:17, 10 minutes, 17 seconds. He was worth the opportunities he'd been given. It wasn't until their 50th anniversary in 2025 when he donated a 10:26, 10 minutes, 26 seconds. Bench to John Burroughs High School, the place where he first met Cheryl. That Ron finally spoke the truth out loud. He, 10:34, 10 minutes, 34 seconds. Would give back every award, every hit film, every accolade if it meant getting back the weeks and months he lost with his children. And yet, the hardest part. 10:43, 10 minutes, 43 seconds. Of his story was still ahead. The one battle he could not control, fix, or direct. 10:50, 10 minutes, 50 seconds. The brother he may lose. 10:52, 10 minutes, 52 seconds. While Ron Howard often spoke lovingly about his wife and children, there was one relationship that shaped him long before Hollywood, long before marriage. 11:02, 11 minutes, 2 seconds. Long before awards, the quiet. 11:04, 11 minutes, 4 seconds. Unbreakable bond he shared with his younger brother Clint Howard. To the public, Clint was the quirky, memorable character actor who appeared in everything from Star Trek to Apollo 13. 11:16, 11 minutes, 16 seconds. But to Ron, Clint was something far more important. The only person who understood what it meant to grow up inside a machine that